One of my most anticipated upcoming devices for the year 2023 is the OnePlus V Fold. Now, this device is supposed to be coming sometime around Q3 of 2023, and that's not just me saying this. That was directly from OnePlus themselves on stage. And even though this device has not actually been officially announced or detailed in any capacity at all, that doesn't mean that I can't do some sleuthing and some speculation based on the available data and think about how this device will compare to some of the other devices on the market, like the Z Fold 4 and very soon to be Pixel Fold, how it will compare and contrast in regard to my most important feature when it comes to these foldable devices, and that is in multitasking. How are we going to do this? How are we going to speculate on this? I can hear you asking yourself through the screen. Well, luckily, even though the OnePlus V Fold has not yet been announced, there are a couple of devices that do exist that we do have the ability to take a look at that I think are going to be extremely similar to the OnePlus V Fold. We are talking about the Oppo Find N2 and the brand new OnePlus tablet. Both of these devices handle multitasking in effectively the exact same way, and that leads me to believe that the OnePlus V Fold will follow suit and behave in pretty much the exact same way. So with the Samsung devices, you have several different ways to attack the multitasking problem. The primary thing that I use is the taskbar. And as you can see down here, what this is a row of applications, which is exactly the same as this row of applications on your launcher. And it allows you to grab one of those applications or go into your full app drawer in this instance. And you can either tap an app to switch out what app is in the full screen position, or you can drag an application up onto the screen to initiate split screen multitasking. From here, you can tap in the middle and switch the position of these apps, or even switch them to be oriented in this manner. And if you swipe up to go home, you will see in the recents screen that those applications remain paired together. Now, another thing you can do is utilize the Edge panel, which is very similar to the taskbar, but slightly more customizable. But the functionality is very similar. You can tap an app to switch the full screen app, or you can simply drag an app on screen to initiate split screen multitasking. You can see here that my taskbar has hit itself on accident. Long press and you can bring that back. Now with these Samsung phones, you can actually split screen even more, not just 2 apps, but 3. And then you can even have a 4th one open in a floating window. So how does this compare with what OnePlus is likely to offer with the OnePlus V Fold based on what we've seen with the OnePlus tablet and the Oppo Find N2? Well, there are some very large key differences. The first one is that we have not seen OnePlus or Oppo utilize the taskbar that was brought into devices with Android 12L. They don't appear to be using that taskbar at all. They do, however, have something very similar to the Edge panel, which you can see in some clips on screen here. Bear in mind, I'm showing some clips from some other great creators. I'll drop full links to their videos in the description down below if you want to see more from them. That sidebar looks to be very, very similar to what Samsung has, but again, no taskbar. What are they doing instead of a taskbar? They are using a 2-finger swipe down gesture, which takes the open app and basically splits it in 2 and shows you your launcher. You then select another app, and when it comes back in, you now have 2 apps side by side. I actually like this quite a bit because I'm a big believer in the idea that you learn your launcher, you learn that layout, so you're actually going to be quicker at picking that application off your launcher than you might be off of a taskbar, and especially out of just an alphabetical app drawer. That is definitely true for me. Now, from what I've read, the OnePlus and Oppo devices do allow 2 apps side by side as well as a floating window. I would expect the OnePlus V Fold to be able to do this as well. That does put it one running app behind the Z Fold, although I can't really tell you how many times I've had 3 apps open, especially 3 apps open with a 4th floating window. Things get very, very cluttered. Typically, it's 2 apps side by side. I do use the floating windows more than I thought I would initially, so it's good to have that there as well. The Pixel Fold only appears to be capable of 2 apps side by side. It's unclear at this moment if you can do more than 2 apps or even a floating window. Hopefully that is something that they have implemented, but I've not seen it displayed in any videos as of yet. So I'm not going to say it's going to be there because we just don't know that. Of course, the Pixel Fold does have a version of the taskbar that Samsung does use. So that is the way it's handling this multitasking. You're going to kind of swipe up from the bottom, reveal that taskbar, drag an app up, or tap an app to switch the app that is in the foreground. Very similar to the Z Fold, it does not appear to have any kind of a sidebar. You're relying upon that taskbar down below. Now, honestly, I find all of this very, very exciting because at this very moment in the United States of America, you can only purchase, if you want a foldable, the Galaxy Z Fold line. And while those devices are very good, there's just the one of them. So if you want to try different approaches to solving problems, you kind of can't. You have to import something, which isn't always a great experience. In a matter of only maybe something like 6 short months, we're going to have the Z Fold, the V Fold, as well as the Pixel Fold, and each of them are approaching multitasking in their own somewhat unique manner. We have 2 different taskbar implementations. We have 2 different versions of 2-finger swipes to get to other applications. We have different ways of split screening things. I love seeing so many options coming very, very soon. I am extremely curious to see what the OnePlus V Fold ends up looking like when that device does eventually launch again sometime in Q3 of this year. Guys, if you want more content just like this, hit that subscribe button before you go. I will see you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.